So this is a what's in my camera bag everyday carry. And one of the things that I always like to have, because I might be in the middle of nowhere hiking, is additional power. Now you can take batteries for your cameras, but they only last so long. And I have been sent by INIU the P63 E1 100 watt power delivery power bank to review. And this review is going to be my own work, my own thoughts. In fact, there's no influence or input from INIU on the video. And to add to that, I've been using INIU products myself for 2 years. So let's get into what this power bank's about and why you should have one in your camera bag. So let's go into a few technical details on the power bank first. It's 25,000 milliamp hours, so it's quite high capacity. And for comparison, I'll show it next to my 20,000 milliamp hour, the 65 watt, sort of its earlier sibling, that I've had for probably about a year now. And you can see it's much smaller and lighter, yet has a higher capacity. And indeed, I've been doing a few tests with it, and I've got my notes down here on the computer. Now, charging wise, I would say it's going to take around about 50 minutes to an hour from 50% to full, and around about 1.5 to 2 hours to charge from more or less empty to full. So it's fairly fast to charge. And if you look on the actual unit itself, it's got 2 USB-C ports, and it's got a USB-A port. They're all, you've got one that's power delivery, one that's 45 watt, and the latter, the smaller USB-A port, is 18 watt. Now I'm going to bring it up on the screen, and they're printed on the back of the power bank itself as well, the combinations you can use these in, because you can't use them all at once at the given wattages that I've mentioned. You've got to follow the instructions as to what you can do. However, bearing that in mind, one of the other things that I like to use these power banks for, because they have power delivery, is if I want to do a bit of editing on the go and my laptop is low on charge, especially if I'm bringing my Windows one and not my MacBook, my Asus X30, which I've just got down here in front of me, it'll actually run that. I did the calculations, and it'll run, and I was doing sort of lightweight editing on Lightroom. I would say it would run for about 1.5 hours to an hour, running a Windows 16 core laptop with a GPU, which is quite staggering really that it'll actually do that. So I also did a test on my mobile phone for charging, and I worked out that the 25,000 milliamp hour pack would probably charge my Pixel 6 around about 3, possibly 3.5 times. And I've done this time-lapse video, so you can see me charging it from around about 60%, and you can see the drain on the power bank itself, so you can actually see in real time what happens. So this is over I think around about a 30-minute time-lapse, and you can do the maths yourself. I just wanted to illustrate so you could actually see what the power bank was capable of. Now, if you actually look in your camera bag and see the kind of things that you have, there are more than just batteries. Now, I've got just 2 things you might have in a camera bag over here. Here's something I prepared earlier. Obviously camera batteries. A lot of camera batteries have USB ports on them now, which means you don't have to have them in the camera to charge. A gimbal, again USB-C, can be charged up. And that's just 2 items. The light behind me, that's battery powered. In fact, it ran out earlier. I thought I had plugged it in, I hadn't. So it ran out, and it can run on a power delivery power bank. So that's another thing. You could charge more than one battery at a time, because you can actually, for low power devices, you could charge several at once on a trickle charge. You could power the camera. So at the minute I'm powering my camera with a power brick because I'm in the house. But if I was out in the field, I might not have that option, and recording a video like this drains a lot of power. So you start to see that these power banks are very flexible things to have as an everyday carry. Now, I've shown you a comparison of the two power banks I had, the 65-watt one, which is a little bit larger, and the 100-watt one, which I'm reviewing here, which is small and compact. But I also wanted to go into, I've been using these power banks for 2 years. I know their build quality. I've had them in tank bags on my motorcycle. They've been thrown in the back of a car, in my camera bag. They've been dragged up mountains. They've been dropped. You name it. I've had them through the works. In fact, the power banks that I got first was this one. And this is the BI41. This is a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. And these are the first ones I got. I've got 2 of them. And if I want to travel really light, they're the ones I tend to take with me because they're equipped with a torch as well. And if I was to be one area in summing up the P65 for, one thing, I would like it to have the P65, the 100-watt power delivery power bank. I would have liked it to have a torch because another area where they're quite good, these power banks, is camping. And having a little light on it where it's just the power bank sitting there, you just tap it on, take the power bank with you. I use them as torches if I was, had to get out of the tent to do anything. I've got a little torch and they're really, really good at that in a pinch. And as a photographer who's just got into night photography, I would love to have something like a red or a white LED on there for sort of night photography. But that's the only sort of little caveat I've had with it. I think the build quality is excellent, and I can say this genuinely because, as I say, I've used these power packs for years. The batteries are very good quality because those little 10,000 milliamp hour ones, they're unbelievable. I charge my phone about once, 1.5 times, 1.25 times. Sometimes I used to, before I had power on my motorcycle, I used to use them to sit in the tank bag and power things. And over the 2 years I've had them, there's been no real degradation in the quality of the battery life and how long it lasts. So I have no reason to doubt the newer power banks. They look the same build quality. And certainly in the short time I've had to test this newer power bank, it's been what I would expect. It's got a little bit more capacity than the 20,000 milliamp hour, but it's a lot more compact and a lot easier to put in your pocket, and it's a little bit lighter. It's probably about 80 to 100 grams lighter. So all in all, these are things that I pretty much would have in my camera bag every day. And this is what I wanted to convey in this sort of new little series that I'll pop up now and again of everyday carry items in my camera bag. So I'll put a link in the description to INIU's website, and you can go and check out. They make tons of different power banks. I'm sure there's something to suit everyone, and I would thoroughly recommend them. And as I say, just to reinforce why I would say that, I've used them for years. And when they approached me, I thought, oh, yeah, I'll happily review one of your items because I've used them before, and I can give a much more honest opinion about not just short-term review, but also long-term review. So what you're waiting for, if you don't have power banks in your camera bag, they're an ideal addition for powering things. I have a drone. It eats through batteries in 20 minutes. I can have one in the bag, charging up while the drone's in the air. And it sometimes can be cheaper than actually spending money, because if I wanted to get a battery and I wanted to get a genuine battery for my camera, that might cost £60-70 for a Lumix S5 2X battery. This power bank is around about £65 in UK money. and it could pay for itself in one charge, you could argue. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this new little format, folks, of essential items in my camera bag, everyday carries. And I will catch you all later. And don't forget to like the video if you got value from it, subscribe, and discuss in the comments below what power solutions you use and whether what I've said today might influence your decision in the future. Catch you all later, folks. Bye.